this is the only form of art that people feel comfortable critiquing the canvas before they get started.
Oh,
no one starts a vase, like making pottery, and goes, well, this clay is bullshit. No one starts a painting and goes, well, this canvas isn't going to do it. No one starts, back when we used film, no one is like, well, this film isn't going to cut it. No one does that. It's only when it comes to our bodies that we feel comfortable. And it's why so many people choose not to interact with style. And another gripe that I have, I get a lot of trolls on TikTok where it's like, I don't think style is important. I think style is stupid and frivolous. There is no person on earth who can get by without interacting with the fashion industry.
Welcome to Grow with Robin Breckenridge, a podcast about stepping into the most fully expressed, aligned, and conscious version of yourself. Here, we dive into the real work of personal growth, establishing boundaries, understanding your patterns, building self-trust, healing emotional wounds, and creating relationships that feel safe, authentic, and fulfilling. I'm Robin, a life and relationship coach, and in each episode, we'll explore the tools, insights, and conversations that will help you not just improve your life and relationships, but truly transform them. You don't have to just go through it. Let's grow through it, and let's do it together. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited about today's conversation because I get to introduce you to someone who has impacted me personally, not just in the way I dress, but she has helped me to approach a lot of scary style moments in the last year, because we are hitting right about the year mark that you and I met and started working together. And one of the best things, my favorite things about having this relationship with my guest is that I'm not alone in them, which reminds me a lot of my work because I help people in life challenges and they don't have to be alone in it. So I'm so grateful to Payton Dale, who is a Nashville-based rock and roll body neutral stylist with over a decade of experience in the fashion industry. Payton is known for her unapologetically unique eye, her love for self-expression, and her mission to help women, and I'm going to assume men too, step into style from a place of confidence rather than comparison. She started as a teenage fashion blogger with a 60s cool girl vibe. I've seen it in person. It's definitely cool girl. Moved into runway modeling and backstage wardrobe styling, and eventually built her styling company, the Payton Project, from the ground up. She has styled musicians, artists, and women and men across all stages of life. Collaborated, are you ready for this, with John Bon Jovi, the Black Crowes, Ringo Starr, you heard that, and Christopher Cross, who's my personal, that's my little music nerd fangirl moment, Lionel Richie, and so much more. And she has worked across TV specials, music videos, magazines, and Netflix. But what I love the most is why she does this work. Payton has walked her own healing journey through body image, eating disorders, and body dysmorphia. And she found her personal style to be a reclamation, a coming home, a way to meet herself with compassion and authenticity. And that's now what she helps other women do every single day. And she's helped me, so I can attest to that. And I'll share this too. Payton, you're my first guest that I haven't worked with personally, as a coach.
Oh, I'm honored.
Yeah, I'm a client of yours. And I had the wonderful honor of having you come and speak to a group of women at a work or a retreat that I did in Nashville with Erin Watt. But before I even met you, this goes back a little longer. I was doing a retreat with Erin Watt, who's been a guest on the podcast. And Erin just looked amazing. She just had this really unique style. She had something picked out for every day. And her accessorizing was amazing. She had this necklace, that black bird necklace. I don't know what it was, but I was like, girl, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I have this stylist. You should check her out. And I was like, I don't really need a stylist, And she goes, yeah, she's actually really cool. She works with a lot of people in Nashville. And we were driving from Palm Springs to LA. And I go, well, what's her, Instagram handle? And she shows me, and I'm looking at this girl. And I mean, your style, I was like, whoa, this is right up my alley. And I'll tell you, I fell in love with you because of the picture with the leopard coat with the green fur. I was like, oh, I'm going to work with this person. And I knew I had the podcast coming up, and I knew I had like a photo shoot and some things that were a little bit out of my comfort zone.
Of course.
And I talked to you and you said, well, I start with a closet clean out. And for a normal person, that might be like really exciting. For me, that is like climbing Mount Everest.
No, you didn't have fun.
I've been organizing my closet for like the last 4 years straight. It's never organized. Yeah. I have ADHD. So I said to you, ooh, closet clean out. That in itself seems really overwhelming. You go, oh, no big deal. I have a neurodivergent version.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what? I need you in my life. Yeah. So thanks to Payton, I organized my closet. I hired a closet organizer.
You did.
Which, even if that sounds like, oh, that's privilege, it is my wonderful, beautiful cleaning person's granddaughter. She's in college. It was just a win-win for both of us.
Yeah.
I just went to Hawaii, Payton, and I did not book a session with you to help me pack because my closet was so organized for the first time in my life. Like anybody that has ADHD knows packing is a chore.
Mm-hmm.
And I always get somewhere with one shoe and no toothbrush.
Yeah, of course.
Or like the cute outfit without the belt and the shoes that go with it or whatever, because you helped me. And I'm so grateful. So I feel the way that you do your work is so knowledgeable. I felt seen and understood. You saw me in really simplified ways when you were like, your style's black. I was like, what is it?
It is.
And then I've been on the podcast a couple of times. I'm like, another podcast episode, another black shirt.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. And so I got to like own that. And you are just a gift. And I feel like you have this very emotionally attuned, emotionally intelligent approach to this type of work.
Yeah.
And it was also super fun. And I feel every morning more regulated. I feel like inspired some of the time because I do have a little bit of perimenopause going on. Sometimes the mornings are a little rough, but past that, I feel more inspired. My closet feels like newer, even though some of the stuff is the same.
Totally.
So you are definitely not just a stylist. I think you probably do similar work with me where you're seeing a lot of people's patterns come up, working with some people's maybe unhealed insecurities or where they are in relationship to themselves. So today we're going to dive into like kind of the intersection of style, connection to self, emotional healing, confidence, because how we show up on the outside is often a reflection of where we are internally or what's growing internally for us. So Payton, I kind of want to start at the beginning. And I was telling you before we hopped on here that like, I'm actually excited to learn more about you.
Oh,
so I just gave you a really great your wonderful bio with so many amazing things in it. But can you tell us like, how did you get here?
Ooh, so I am one of those people. You ever meet someone, you're like, oh, you were set up from the beginning. Like this was who you were going to be. I was raised by a singer-songwriter mom, very glamorous, very like sequins and like 80s and 90s Nashville country vibe. So that wasn't my journey, my truth, but I was raised by a woman who was very glamorous. On the flip side, I had a grandmother who was an incredible seamstress. And I had an aunt that was an incredible seamstress. I had all these creative women around me that either really encouraged my style or they really encouraged me playing with clothing and taught me to appreciate it as an art form. So my mom was super glamorous. And once that's modeled to you, you kind of can't unsee that. And my grandmother really encouraged my love. My favorite movie was The Wizard of Oz as a little girl because I didn't know shoes could look like that. So my grandmother made me, I think I had like 7 or 8 Dorothy dresses that were movie accurate because I wasn't about to buy some Party City knockoff. And then I had an aunt that like painstakingly hand stitched on like sequins to ballet shoes. So they would be movie accurate. My grandmother, when she died, there was still an entire tray of like those ruby sequins that she still had. So it was all around me and I always loved clothes. Now the weird thing between clothing for me and like my personal style is that I did not know growing up that Nick at Night /TV Land wasn't happening in real time. So I was very much like a kid raised by a television, because I was raised by a creative mom who was like trying to have a career and, do the kid thing. So I got sat in front of a TV a lot. So it would be cartoons during the day and on Nickelodeon, and then it would go into Nick at Night. In my little 5, 6-year-old brain, I don't know that the Monkeys and the Brady Bunch and Bewitched and Mary Tyler Moore, I don't know those aren't real, happening in real time. So that's my base of what I wanted to look like, was what I saw on television. So from there, I was like, I want go-go boots. I want fur coats. I want these things. And I'm like 7 years old. And, a lot of the times they made it happen. All those women in my life did. Yeah.
So Payton, because I stalked your Instagram when I first found you, I don't know if it's on your feed or you posted it on a story, but it was you you were a little girl and you were like in front of the TV and you had high heels on and you were like looking around. So I'm just kind of envisioning like your little inner child that was around so much of that creativity. And it's reminding me, I guess I've never really looked at my relationship to fashion necessarily, like either good or bad. I've always felt like it was a creative outlet. But when I think back to my inner child, I have two sisters. One's 10 years older than me, one's 6 years older than me. So like, they were teenagers when I was a kid. And I would put on the high heels. Mm-hmm. But it felt like pressure. Like I have to figure out how to walk in these.
Got it.
Because like, look at what these girls are wearing and whatever. So now that like you're telling me kind of your background, I'm going, wow, I think pressure and fashion or how I dress kind of always went together. It wasn't always fun.
Well, I also, my personal style is a little out there for today's standards, because most people wear leggings. So there was a time period where I squashed myself down. It was like high school, middle school. I was overweight. I was going through puberty. So I just wore like oversized hoodies and sneakers and jeans. And then when MySpace came out, like throwback to that, I found a bunch of people that were like me, that were my age. So people that liked all the same music that I did, because music's a really big, important part of my life. And then they dressed the way that I wanted to. So I had this secret life where I had like thousands of followers on MySpace, and I would dress up in like I would do like full on the makeup and the hair and like creative direct my own photo shoots. And I was like, not famous, but like I had a blog and I had all these things. And then I would live this double life where I'd go to school with my no makeup and my glasses and my hair pulled back and like all very much like She's All That. Whereas like I had this separate life. And it wasn't until I felt comfortable enough with my online community that I integrated into my real life everyday style, which is funny because I'm still running online communities now. So it's something that I've known for a very long time. But I realized there was this moment, I was 16, it was my 16th birthday, and I realized I could basically come out as myself.
Right.
And if the people didn't like it, they didn't like it, and that was on them. I had friends that I could talk to at least.
Oh, okay. So yeah. I'm just sitting here listening to you like, I'm so glad you came on today. So I think you cue up my first question, like pretty naturally here. How did style become a way for you to come home to yourself rather than to perform for other people? Because I heard a little bit of that, like I had to belong at school, which is so age appropriate for that age. And I think we all like maybe start our style journey influenced by like, how do I belong?
Well, we're still very tribal people by nature. There is something in our brains that when we stand out and we other ourselves from the crowd, whether that's a good reason or a bad reason, we still get that feeling like, oh my God, I'm being chased by like a lion, and our nervous system is dysregulated. So I had to basically override my nervous system for a lot of high school. I'm also late diagnosed neurodivergent, like 29 years old diagnosed. So I've spent most of my life feeling like an alien. Feeling like I didn't belong, feeling like I was too sensitive, like I couldn't quite understand what other people, like what they liked about certain things. I had like 2 friends and they both liked me. Turns out they're also late, they're all theater kids. So of course they're all late diagnosed neurodivergent kids. But I remember feeling safer in the clothes that I put on my body and fully just admitting that I was weird, othered, than being this type of person that was like trying to play this part that I'm not. So I was like, my big thing, and this is my beef that I have with human beings and clients and everyone else, like, just be honest. If you can tell me, oh, you're weird, am I allowed to swear?
Girl, yes.
If you can tell me weird shit up front, I can handle anything. It's so funny because I've got clients, as you do too, from all different walks of life. If you can tell me that you hate your body, if you can tell me that you hate zippers, if you can tell me these things, I can accept you and love you and meet you where you're at. But it's the people that can't do that that are the worst clients that I've ever had. So I had this realization that I'm just going to own it. I'm just going to own it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And it was almost like, I didn't realize it then, but I was almost like unmasking at 16. Now there were some huge fashion misses, but I also had the affirmation of like the online vintage community that I was in. I was what they would now call mid-size, but back then it was plus size. So I had this very big niche of like plus size fashion girls that wanted to look like me. And I was broke. I had to work like 4 jobs. So it's like, here's what I found at Goodwill. Here's how I changed it. And I had like a following from that. And I think that by having a niche and being open about my vulnerabilities with myself and just kind of owning that fact, other people felt comfortable with me.
Sure. And I can imagine that like people's relationship with their body comes up even in like an intro call. Like, so
there's so much.
I would assume that you've walked through your own, that would be a place of support for people. I mean, how does that
Well,
work?
I'm being honest, I am in September, it'll be 15 years in eating disorder recovery. Okay. And I had everything from bulimia to, I said that I had, what was it? Forgetful anorexia. Cause I'd be like, I'm not going to eat today. And then halfway through the day, I'd be like, shit, I forgot that I wasn't eating. But binging and purging was a really big part of my life for a very long time. And now I know it was like dopamine seeking and trauma and like all these other things that like I was taking on. But yeah, I was a massive binge eater. So I understand when people are like, I just can't lose the weight. Or I understand when people go, well, nothing fits me anyway. What's the point? I understand being ugly. I understand that, like ugly by the world standards, because there was a freedom for me in being not the beauty standard. Because I'm, that back then it was early 2000s. Like if you're not a 00 and tan and blonde with big boobs, like I wasn't any of those things. There was a freedom in that I could accept myself and other people would too. And a lot of people just can't accept themselves. Yeah. And it's strange as a stylist because I look at my work as any other art form, as a painter, as a musician, as a movie or filmmaker. This is the only form of art that people feel comfortable critiquing the canvas before they get started.
Oh,
no one starts a vase like making pottery and goes, well, this clay is bullshit. No one starts a painting and goes, well, this canvas isn't going to do it. No one starts, back when we used film, no one is like, well, this film isn't going to cut it. No one does that. It's only when it comes to our bodies that we feel comfortable. And that's why so many people choose not to interact with style. And another gripe that I have, I get a lot of trolls on TikTok where it's like, I don't think style is important. I think style is stupid and frivolous. There is no person on earth who can get by without interacting with the fashion industry. It's like that The Devil Wears Prada, the cerulean monologue. Mm-hmm. There is no person on earth. You got up today. You put on clothes. You bought this clothes. Someone designed this clothes. Some hands cut those clothes. Yeah. I bought this from a friend's vintage store. I chose this jewelry. There's a reason why. Even if you think that you are going to throw on your Lululemon and opt out, there's a billionaire behind that brand. No one is immune from it. So I always say that if you're not immune from it, you might as well have fun with it. And you might as well use it to benefit yourselves and the world around you.
Yeah, I think like from my perspective, it's like all about empowerment. Mm-hmm. And one of the big reasons that we asked you to be a part of the retreat is because we were really solidifying that group's what we call the conscious adult. So like their highest, healthiest, like attuned parent part of self that can parent the inner child and the inner teen. And it reminded me of my own journey because I had like a big abrupt awakening, and I wouldn't say like I was a party girl previous to that, but I did go out a lot, and a lot of my wardrobe was like going out clothes. So like, when people are like, I either looked like I was a supermodel or a homeless person. Yeah. Like I had a lot of that. There was like a big gap in my wardrobe.
Ho or hobo?
There you go. That's actually better. It was
Yeah.
Ho or Hobo.
Yeah.
And I was so used to everything being really tight. Like
Mm-hmm.
sexy was kind of my vibe, which it's not wrong. Like I still do. I had this big awakening and I had this part that was like party girl and also very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And the communities, the spiritual communities I was going in, like, not to put them down at all, but like nobody was really caring
Yeah.
about the way they looked. So I was like, oh, it's either like I'm in tight clothes and I have cleavage all the time,
Yeah.
or, and keep in mind, I was a teacher. So like I didn't dress that way at work or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
or I had to give myself up. And I was like, okay, well, neither one of those is
It's
authentic. And
Madonna
so,
war syndrome all over again, like in a different format.
yeah. So I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, well, what do I want to look like? Well, I want to look pretty. And I
Yeah.
went, okay, what is pretty?
Mm-hmm.
And I started thinking about, like, you know, people that I admired, things that or people I find pretty. And it brought me back to the first time I went to New York City.
Right.
And I'm on the subway for the first time. And I see this girl on the subway and she has this big, beautiful afro. And she is just wearing this like very interesting, unique outfit.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with her. Like, just, I was like, oh my God, look at this authenticity. That is so pretty. And so when I went to like, say that again.
People pick up on that. And it's really funny because there are times where I do calls, like my intro calls, and I go, I'm never going to hear from this person again. And it's so funny because I can look at someone and immediately know if they're who they are, if they're who they say they are. There is an energetic frequency that vibrates through people, and you can pick up on it, especially when you're spiritually spongy. Yeah. And I can tell when someone's doing something to be performative or when someone's doing it because they like it. Usually, this is not always, but when someone wears clothes that are too tight or too revealing, the two things is they think that's all they have to offer. So that goes back to what you were saying about style being very performative for you. You know, because women find safety in beauty. Our nervous systems calm down when there's beautiful things around us, but we have to think about the systems that we're built in or born into. And female beauty is associated with closeness to men, which is proximity to power. So we have that. So acceptance and validation from men feels safe to our nervous systems. Or we have people who refuse to admit that their clothes don't fit them properly. And what they're doing is, anytime that I see someone who's wearing clothes that are too tight or clothes that are too large, there is a mind, body, spirit disconnect. Somewhere along that chain, something has got interrupted. So that woman was online, is what I say. Like, she was completely connected. She was completely living her truth. She knew exactly who she was. And you still think about her.
I'll never forget her.
Think about how many people you see on a regular basis. Our brains form an opinion on someone in 129 milliseconds. So imagine how much was vibrating through her where you had to take note of that. Like, that's
insane. You are that too. Like the bravery that it took for you to take that from your little blog community and integrate it into your life, like, is so inspiring. So those were the two things I came back to. I went, authenticity is pretty, and I want to be inspiring. I don't need to be the best dressed person in the room or the most like connected. Yeah, I love the 70s personally. Like, I feel really called to that. And before, like, high-waisted, I wouldn't say bell-bottom, but like more of like a wide leg jean we're in. Like, I would do a lot of that. And I would always have people come up to me like, I love your jeans. Mm-hmm. And I took it more of like, oh, I'm doing that thing that feels authentic. I'm inspiring people by my authenticity.
Yes. The first time I met Erin, and I've told you the story, but I think it's funny for the podcast. So I met Erin. I was called by a photographer in town to style Erin's photo shoot. And I saw Erin's socials and I was like, oh, we're both sober. She's like spiritually and emotionally online. This is going to be great. And then when the photographer told me the concept, I said, that's not her brand. She goes, well, I talked to her and this is what we want to do. And this is like the direction. She's got purple hair. Like, that's the direction I want to go. And I'm thinking in my mind, I've never seen her in a color. I've never met Erin at this point. So I'm like, there's no pictures of her in a color. That seems a little too out there for what she's doing because she doesn't need to be the main focus. Her clients need to be the main focus. This doesn't feel grounded. This doesn't feel rooted in reality. However, that's fine. So I meet Erin on set of the shoot and I connect with her immediately. because she's open, she's honest, she's vulnerable, she's accepted her body, she knows who she is, she's very grounded in her work. There's nothing that she has to prove to anybody. And I pulled her aside and I said, you hate these, don't you? You hate these clothes. And she goes, they just don't feel like what I wanted to do. And I go, okay, cool. You and I are going to connect and we're going to do another photo shoot after with a different team. And I said, but I'm going to be here for you today. And if anything works, great. We'll put it in black and white. But why are you in orange? It makes no sense. And she goes, you're right. Why am I in orange? And I go, let's get through it. Let's see if anything goes. And the photos never got used. But Erin and I bonded in that bathroom changing. And I've since done every photo shoot she's done after that. But with Erin, it was very easy for me to come into that relationship because she knows exactly who she is. And she also is open to coaching because she's a coach. So I love coachable people where it's like, hey, this thing that was working for you that's a pain point, here's how we're going to fix it. And Erin was perfect. Erin and I were on the same wavelength.
But that's what I love. Like, you know, even if you've done all the work, like photo shoots are hard, and knowing all that, it's like all hard, and you just don't leave us alone in it. And you can sometimes advocate for us in ways we might not be able to in the moment.
I'm always the bad guy on a photo shoot. And I'm happy to do that. I mean, I was talking to a duo of mine yesterday, and they're sisters, and I adore them. And we were talking about this photo shoot where it was a nightmare. They got hired to be in this like magazine, and it ended up being a nightmare. And the girls hated everything that the photographer and the editor wanted. And I stepped in. They were like, can you help us? And I stepped in, and I was style mom, and I said, this isn't on brand, this isn't in alignment, we're not going to do it. And they're like, thank you. So
I know.
I'm happy to do it. There is an epidemic happening in the world in general where there is a lack of curiosity. And I think it's everything from like, hey, I wonder why someone would think that way, or I wonder why someone would like behave differently than I would in this scenario. I wonder why. But they're really missing out is curiosity on themselves. Like curiosity within themselves. I wonder why I only like to wear these certain things. I wonder why I'm wearing things like this. No one wants to connect to themselves or to other people. Not everybody, but like for the most part, I see a ton of it. I see people who are delusional on both ends of the spectrum for my job. I see people who think they are thinner, younger, wealthier, and I see people that think they're these mutants that are, 600 pounds and hideous, and they have no sense of style. I see both sides of delusion. And they're both problems because neither one of them are connected to reality because they never got curious about themselves. So I think that's the number one step, is to getting curious. Why am I in this rut? Is it because the fashion industry got weird after COVID? Is it because I'm not purchasing things? Is it because I'm not investing the time and the skills into learning this? It's a new muscle. Why am I not learning to strengthen that? There's no one that I have met has been curious about any of those things. So when I start pointing out things, I'm like, hey, don't you think it's weird that like your mom was in this high controlled religion and now all you want to do is have like be completely butt naked all the time and you're not getting the desired effects that you want? And they're like, oh, never thought about that before. It's like, yeah, I know. I can tell. So I think step one is getting curious. Step two is realizing this is a marathon, not a sprint. That's the most frustrating thing that people want, because we still live in a society that is so, we can instantly stream a movie. Songs don't, make any money anymore because you can get whatever you want and they'll pay someone 0.0004 cents. Fast food, Uber Eats, Tinder, Hinge, like all these, everything is readily available, but style is the one thing that you have to interact with on a daily basis that you cannot fast forward on. Like Amazon has started trying to do these capsule closets, and people review them and they're like, oh, it actually sucks. I'm like, yeah, I know, because most people who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s have invested the time, energy, resources, curiosity into forming that. Mm-hmm. You can't think that. You can't rush that. There's no steps to skip.
Man, I loved when we started working together and you were like, just PS, we're not doing Shein, we're not doing Amazon. Like, you are worthy of having like beautiful fabrics and like pieces. Like our first little go around, like I'm going to have those pieces forever.
Yeah. And it's not even about spending things on like everything has to be designer. It's like, I believe in buying the best quality that you can and buying it and thinking long term. I don't believe in goal clothes because it takes you out of the present moment. So many people live in what I call style purgatory, where it's like, oh, when I lose 30 pounds, I'll do this. Or when I, get my boob job or my mommy makeover, I'll do this. But like, if you can get things that are going to give you the longevity in the next 10, 15, 20 years, I've got pieces in my closet that I've had for 20 years. So I want to be able to give that to other people as well.
I'm so inspired already by this conversation. I'm so excited. I'm just going to leave it at that. So how do you see clothing as a reflection of where someone is emotionally or energetically? Because even when you're talking and you're like, first step, get curious. I'm like, oh my gosh, our work is so similar. But I would assume you see a lot of emotional and energetic stuff when you are walking into someone's closet with them.
Well, the first call, I do an intro call and I take notes and I can tell I call them how crunchy they are, how they're going to be. And I think that you understand what I mean when I say how crunchy they are, where I can hear in someone's language where when nothing's ever their fault, clothes don't ever fit them right because no one cares about you, that absolutist language, the defeatist behavior. A lot of people hire me, and I'm sure they hire you as well, because they want to outsource discomfort. And I tell them, we're not doing that. If you don't know who you are, we're going to figure that out. If you don't want to clean out your closet, tough shit. If you tell me one thing and you mean another, I can't read your mind. You're going to be real about it. So I think that it's funny because there's nothing to say about other than like a vibe that I get. I'm extremely intuitive when it comes to people and their bodies and their relationship to their bodies because I've had to be in tune with mine for so long. So I can pick up when someone doesn't feel comfortable. I can pick up when someone wants to be smaller, when someone wants to be bigger. I can pick up so many things. And usually I can tell what someone's hierarchy of needs are when it comes to their style. Oh, you want to be taken seriously at work because you don't feel polished. Oh, you want attention from men. Oh, you want attention from women because your mom never gave it to you. Like there's so many different things. And I'm sure you've seen that in your clients with your work. But I mean, long story short, I can just tell. There is a vibe that people put off when they're not comfortable in who they are as a person. And I can sit with you through your discomfort, but I cannot fix it for you. I'll hold your hand and we'll walk through it.
Cute. Like you're so amazing on TikTok and I think you have a big presence there. But when I jump on your live, you'll be like, some of you need to call Robin. Like she does some of this work because I feel like, I don't know. I just think I'm going to send you a lot of clients. I remember when you came to the retreat, I wasn't there because that was my time off to kind of like reconnect. But I remember the girls telling me that one of them was saying something about like, well, I order all this stuff online and then like I never return it. And it's just like a lot. And you were like, it's not that hard. You put it in your car and you drive it to the mailbox. And they were like, dang, Payton doesn't play.
Style and the process of it, I tell people all the time, style and figuring out your style and executing it is so simple, but it's not easy. It is simple, but it's not easy. There's a formula. This is how people have done it for millions of years. It's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would look good.
I think it's similar in this work too. And I think we're all on a journey of getting to know ourselves more deeply. Yeah. And I think that's why we turn our closets over where we're like, wait, I wouldn't wear this anymore because I'm not that person.
What am I? Yeah, exactly. It's for me, anytime someone's like, well, I have ADHD, so do I, and I'm unmedicated, tough shit. Let's keep going. Do you want it or do you not? And I don't know if that's like the Virgo or the eldest daughter or the Enneagram 3 or the generator. I don't know what that is in me. But it's like, I did it. And if I did it and I was depressed and I was fat and I was broke, you can do it. I don't want to hear the excuses.
Yeah. I hear it as boundaries.
Yes. I always tell people, if I'm going to hire a personal trainer, I want someone who used to be fat. Mm-hmm. I want someone who was like 600 pounds. I want someone who has been there, who has done it because if they can do it, I can do it. And I'm that person for people. Like, no, I used to be a size 18. Like if I can do this, you can do this. Oh, you can't find clothes? Well, I did. So what are you going to complain about now? I also think that as human beings, I subscribe to the Adlerian psychology model of that we're all looking for significance. And it's easier for people to adapt a lifestyle where they're the victim to find the significance. And I'm like, we're not doing that. I'm not playing that. You don't like your clothes? Let's get you new ones. You can't afford them? Let's get you a side hustle. Go, like I'm a little tough love on a lot of people around me because I want them to succeed. And I've had clients where they're like, well, I don't feel inspired. Well, you don't show up to your sessions, or you no show, or you don't do your laundry, or you don't do these things. It's simple. And you're wasting my time by not doing these things. But it's
And
the
ultimately wasting the client's time too, right? I think there's something loving about not kicking around in the dirt with other people's victim energy.
Yeah.
It's not empowered.
I think that in a post-COVID world, I am a lot less soft. I'm more understanding. I'm less soft. Because it's like, we're not in 2020 anymore. You can go back to work. You don't have to like stay at home. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to wear sweatpants all day long. There's other options. We live in a time that is so amazing that we have access to so many different things. There's no excuse.
I've experienced you as just really direct, confident, and like just in your knowing. It doesn't feel like tough lovey. And also maybe I'm not bringing a ton of like victim energy in, but like you just, when I'm starting to go somewhere, you just kind of bring me back to the point at hand. So like, I think a lot of the root of what we're talking about today has to do with confidence. I think confidence means I know who I am and I know I can do something. So like, what do you think confidence really looks like in style, especially because this podcast might have a lot of listeners who are in a personal transition and maybe their style is in a transition. So like for someone who's rebuilding their relationship with themselves.
I think it's so funny. One of the biggest things that people come to me and say, I don't want to be perceived. I don't want to be received. And I go, well, I can see you, so tough shit. And it sounds harsh, but it's like, I can see you. And I know that you don't like yourself because I can tell by the way your shoulders are rounded or the fact that like you're trying to hide behind clothes that are too big. I can still see you. I think the big thing, if you don't hire someone professionally, is to, I always tell people at the age where you were the most hurt or the worst thing happened to you, how did you want to dress then? And start there. So were you 6 and you wanted to wear like sparkly jelly shoes and you went through some stuff? Go get you some, like the adult version of it. If you wanted to have a goth phase, I've got a girl right now that wanted to have an emo phase but grew up in the Mormon church. You bet your ass I'm getting her band shirts and cutting them up and putting them under her work blazers and like bringing her the adult version of a jelly bracelet. You bet your ass I'm doing it. So I always tell people when they're struggling to connect, go back to the time where you lost yourself and we'll find you again.
I mean, that's what the work I do. Like you go back to the inner child.
Yeah.
That's a great place to start. So in alignment with what we talk about on this podcast. Okay, amazing. So when you, I'm thinking about your bio and how you said like at 16 you did this blog and you mentioned something about like rock stars' wives were inspiring to you. So like when you go back to your more traumatized version of you, what were you into then?
Oh, okay. Well, ding dong, the witch is dead. I had an evil stepmom. So I feel when people say don't speak ill of the dead, that's not very love and light of me.
But middle finger up if you're listening and not watching.
Not very love and light of me, but I had an evil stepmom. So now my healed self is like, she was undiagnosed bipolar and she was dealing with addiction problems. I'm like, no, my 14-year-old self hates you. Verbally, physically abusive, mentally abusive. Just the walking on eggshells that like my nervous system has not been regulated since I was 14 years old. So she was where I felt the most unsafe, like being in her presence and all that stuff. So that was around the time that I started doing the double life thing. So I was also left alone a lot on my like real dad's weekends because she would go off and party. My real dad wanted a boy and my sister played sports. So like I just kind of got left alone. So I found, once again, going back to solace in media, I found so much solace in 2 things. One was my love of old music and movies. So I'm a big Beatles fan. I'm like a huge Stones fan. I love that kind of stuff. And there was so much like Tumblr, going down a rabbit hole on like, there were these Tumblrs called Fuck Yeah, Patty Boyd and like Fuck Yeah, Anita Pallenberg.tumblr. And it was all these girls that were dating the people that I had crushes on. So at my point, I was like, oh, what do these women all have in common? The haircut. Not that they were 30 and models and like Italian and gorgeous. It was like, no, if I got bangs, I could totally get a boyfriend. So yeah, I started like really, the cool thing about getting obsessed with like a version of media is that there's who inspired them. What were they inspired by? And you can just keep going. And that's how taste builds in general. So I was just building my taste just earlier than most people do. So I got into all kinds of old movies and old TV, and the music thing really took off. And from that, fashion, because the fashion inspired the music and so on and so forth. So like, I just researched. And I threw myself into the research aspect of everything because I love to go down a rabbit hole. And then that was, okay, how can I implement these in my everyday life? Well, I can't afford this Dior mini dress that is impossible to track down, but I can find something like it. And then I found a lot of solace in building my taste over that time period. The other part of that is that at the same time around that period, my mom was going through breast cancer treatment. So she's 22 years in remission now, but my mom being like bald and green and sick and seeing her get up and get dressed every day, I was like, oh, she still does this for herself. So these two things, I'm figuring out what this is going to look like. So when I'm an adult, I'm doing this for myself. And so my 14-year-old self was the problem. You couldn't pay me to be 14 again. So
I know it's so hard for so many people.
Yeah. So when I found out that my former stepmom had died due to, I believe, cirrhosis of the liver, I just laughed. I was like, and that's not the kindest thing, but I just go, oh, remember like when you used to make fun of me for the way I dress? That's hilarious. You're dead and I'm not.
Yeah. And it's so, I love, like, it's so normal when people have divorced homes and they have to go to both of them, and they have to be one in one and another person in another, which I would assume having an abusive stepmom, you had to be more protective, guarded, you were getting judged, you were getting abused. But it's so normal that kind of opens up this ability to have a double life and be two different people. Mm-hmm. And what I love about your story, because so often we're gaslit, like, she's not that bad, or like, you can't say anything because then dad will be upset, or we're not allowed to, whatever it is, that you were able to just own, I hate her.
No, I as an adult who was around the same age as she was, I was like, oh, you were clearly dealing with stuff, but you still took it out on a child, and fuck you for that. So I would never in a million years, like, I just can't fathom in a world where that happens. So but because of that, I am grateful in a way, because it did give me all the time and the energy. And like, I built this bubble around me. I'm like, oh, well, I can just go to my records or my, the movies, or I can go read my books, or I could do whatever. And, and I got really into Harry Potter. And it's like, between those two things, you're like, oh, you also lived with people who hated you and wanted you to sleep under the stairs. Oh, I'm not dumb. I'm just a wizard. Like, it was a lot easier for me to kind of like go through life knowing that, like, okay, well, other people felt this way too. Maybe I am magic, or maybe I like have a community of people around me that also like the same things, and like I can talk to them. And the internet was like fairly new, so I had message boards and forums and like all kinds of stuff. So it was nice to have the rabbit hole to go down, and I still find a lot of solace and comfort in a rabbit hole.
I love a good rabbit hole. I don't know if that's an ADHD thing totally or what, but like, man, I love them.
I think it is. I like the other night I had a couple hours to myself, and I was texting my best friend, and then I kind of disappeared, and she goes, "What did you learn?" And I said, "I got certified in past life regression." She goes, "Of course you did." So it's like, I love that. I think it's great. But yeah, so I because I had all that time, and I was also trying to like build this cocoon around myself, I used art, and I used fashion, and I used media in general as like a way to kind of keep me safe and isolated.
Well, it also, I feel like I can see what inspired your style on the magic aspect, because you are kind of majestic. Like, I've seen you in person, you are, on screen as well, but like, show us your cup, your water cup.
It's my Emerald City cup. Because I'm still...
Yeah, you are. You integrated some magic, and
I'm still 5 on the inside.
The most empowering part of that story, and thank you for sharing that, is that like you found one lane of who you were, and now you own it and you rock it and you inspire people all the time.
I hope so.
Like, what a cool ending to that horrible 14-year-old experience you had.
I mean, I didn't realize how on brand it was that I still did sing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. So like we're still on brand. If anything, I'm consistent.
You actually like turned me on to Wicked, and I haven't seen the second one, and I know we're not talking about it, but I'm so grateful for that. So,
well, okay. I mean, imagine that story. So that story that is out during the time period that I'm dealing with the stepmom. So I never got to see the show when she was alive. I've seen it a million times since, but I'm like, I would listen over and over again to like Elphaba, main character, eldest daughter, no one likes her. There's something off about her. Hello, neurodivergent, didn't know it. But she's secretly the most powerful person in the room and they just can't stand that. So because of, once again, strength in media, I was like, oh, well, they just can't see it yet. They just haven't gotten to act 2. That's all it is. So that was how I would go through life. It's like, oh, they just haven't figured me out yet. Their characters
in the movie when she's falling, sorry, if anybody hasn't seen the end, don't listen to this part. And then she sees her little girl. Oh my gosh. I was like, I sobbed in the movie.
The second one, it's fine. It's not my favorite, but like in the second act of the show isn't my favorite either. But in the movie where she catches her younger self, that I lost it because I'm like, oh, that's what I do every day. That's what I'm doing every single day of my life. I'm like holding on to my little girl self. I'm like, hey, we do this really cool thing and this is awesome and we help people and you're not in trouble. You're never in trouble.
I feel the same way. Yeah. And you can be who you are, right?
You can be great.
And this is what's so neat. Like everybody that is listening to this podcast is as brave as we were in those moments to like walk up to those really tough emotions or those stories we've been telling ourselves about ourselves and still be brave enough, which I think is the bravest thing you can do, to be who you are, like authentically. So for someone that's listening, that's standing in their closet, feeling disconnected or unsure, like where do you suggest they start?
I think that every single person on earth needs a working wardrobe, and that's where everything works for them and together. This is what we went over in your first call. So the big thing is that I treat my wardrobe, if you worked in a restaurant, it's like the main kitchen. So like everything has to be an ingredient that's going to work right now because we have a lunch rush, we have a dinner rush, we have something coming in. So there's 5 categories, and the first 3 I have people get rid of. If the item doesn't fit you, it does not work for you. Therefore, it does not belong in the working wardrobe. 2 is, does the item serve a purpose? So like I hate athleisure. I have a vendetta against it. There's a whole thing on TikTok about how much, if you look up Payton Dale on TikTok, it says hates athleisure in the search bar. But I do Pilates. If you do pottery, if you have a work uniform, like that serves a purpose. I never would wear a bra again. That serves a purpose, you know? Category 3, do you have a negative visceral reaction to the item? Do you feel guilt that you spent money on it, never wore it, or a family member did? Do you feel sad that it didn't fit you or it doesn't fit you anymore? Are you frustrated that it didn't work? Or do you have a bad memory associated with it? Because our closets hold onto energy. So it's our job to be in charge of the vibe of the energy in the room. So if it doesn't fit, it doesn't serve a purpose, and it makes you feel bad, we get rid of it. Because every single thing needs to be something you can grab and throw on in 10 minutes. I tell people you need 10 minutes to be ready for a wedding, a funeral, or a backstage pass.
I know, I'm still working on that, girl.
That last one has happened to me, where it's like, hey, your favorite artist is here. You got 10 minutes. Okay, I'm on my way. That I've been given like bucket list opportunities because I was ready to go in 10 minutes. So 4 and 5, we go over together, and we've done this before where it's, I like it, but I'm settling for it. So we tweak it or we replace it because you got it for a reason, but I don't believe in settling for things in your closet.
Yeah, you put them in piles, like different piles.
And 5 is I love it, don't know how to style it because I think that we should be wearing at least one thing every single day that gets us excited to get out of bed, even if you're just working from home. So like I bought this really cool sweater at a thrift store, but I didn't think about how to style it in a outfit form. Okay, here's your pants and your shoes and your jewelry and your bag, and here's the jacket that's going to go with it. And now it's an outfit. And now you have a reason to wear that thing that gets you excited every single day. So if it doesn't fit, it doesn't serve a purpose, and it makes you feel bad, we're getting rid of it. If you're settling for it, we're going to tweak it or replace it. And then if you like it, don't know how to style it, we're going to get what I call those style anchors to kind of hold it down. So that's honestly, if you have a closet that's not cleaned out, that's like having a fridge full of food and half of it's rotten. Like you don't have onions, girl.
And it is interesting how like the negative vibrational energies will keep it in there. Like guilt, like, oh, but I mean, when I first went through and I saw how many things had tags on them
Guilt.
and I didn't wear them, and then I felt like, well, I can't give it away. I didn't throw it away. Because, and then I thought, well, I don't want it. And what a wonderful find at a thrift store for someone that just got this really expensive item that still has tags on it.
I tell people all the time that we are the world's energetic big sisters, and it's our job to keep passing it along. So just pass it along to someone else who'll be thrilled.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And if anybody feels super overwhelmed by that, we're going to give all of Payton's contact information at the end. You will not regret connecting with her. So what's one small accessible change someone can make that helps them feel more like themselves in their style, like right away, if there's like a quick fix? Which, as I'm saying that, I'm like the worst podcast guest. When people are like 3 steps to getting rid of your anxiety, I'm like, there are no 3 steps. So you don't have to answer it if that's too simplified.
I have 2.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm a believer in the low stakes errand. And this is my favorite. The low stakes errand is, instead of waiting until like your high school reunion or a date or like some big event to wear an outfit that you haven't worn before, wear it within a 5-mile radius of your home. For groceries, for post office, for dry cleaning, for whatever, go get coffee in it. You'll be able to see how the item physically feels, how it emotionally feels, and how comfortable you are in it, instead of walking around an event in shoes that you can't walk in. It also reprograms you. This is like, it's not technically too, I'm piggybacking off this one. It also gets your brain used to the fact that you wear nice things on a regular basis.
So it's not hoe or homeless?
Exactly. So I will be leaving here to go pick up a crate of Wrangler jeans. I have Celine boots. My groceries are in a Birkin bag. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day it is. Because if I'm going to do something, it's going to be the best. I didn't pay retail for either one of them, but it's going to be the best. And I'm going to show up the most like me. And my brain just goes, oh yeah, of course we wear nice things every day. The other one, I have 3, I cheated, matching pajamas.
That has been such a game changer for me, especially with ADHD, because who knows where the matching set goes.
No, matching pajamas are like a non-negotiable for me now.
I know. And I have like a matching robe and pajama set. It's just,
because the other thing too is you spend a third of your day, if you're healthy, sleeping. That's a big chunk of your day looking put together. You're going to want to continue it.
Okay, I knew I was excited for this because I'm learning so much too, but I was recently, for my birthday, gifted this beautiful Chanel bag from a very dear family member of mine. Yeah. She said, I was going to leave it to you in my will, but I'm not going to be gone for a long time, and I want you to enjoy it. Like, I want to see you enjoy it. It is a very expensive. Like,
my birthday was a client gift.
Yeah. I have worn it one time since July because I'm so it feels like it needs the special event that's not happening. So I can wear it to the gas station.
Yes. There is. I think it goes back to, once again, like going back to seeing your mom bald. You might not get it.
Yeah.
You might not get it. I'm glad that she's here, but you might not. And if I'm spending that much money on something, or someone gifted me something that was that much money, I'm using it. Because that bag that's sitting on my dining room table that's got drumsticks and a portable steamer and like a bra and all of my makeup and like crystals and tarot, like everything's in there. That bag cost what my first car did times 2. I'm going to get the money out of it, you know?
But I love the message that it sends, that like, you are worthy of nice things all the time, not just on
yourself on hold because it's a random Wednesday. So
I'm gonna wear that bag to Kroger.
Your homework, Robin.
That's my homework. I'm pulling that thing out, and it's also like a light color, so I'm always afraid something's gonna get on it. But
the cool thing is that leather can be cleaned. So
yeah, good reminder. Okay. So how does style become a form of self-respect instead of self-judgment?
Every single day I get up, I do my morning routine, I try to meditate, I do my journal. That's self-respect. That's me setting my boundaries mentally. I get dressed. I go, who do I want to be today? How do I want to show up? What do I want to wear? This is selfish. It's full of self.
Or self-connection.
It's full of, what do I want to feel? Okay, well, I want to feel this way. I want to have something that's going to be fun to wear all day long because I'm going to be sitting down on Zoom or sit in the car, or I'm going to be fitting other people. I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to move around. I want people to feel like they have a good connection. I go, how do I want to feel? How do I want others to feel around me? And then the third is like, is there anything I want to wear for fun? Just for the sake of fun.
I love fun. So Payton, like, do you prep your wardrobe in advance? Like you start out, because I feel like as a creative person, also the ADHD thing, like one day I feel like this and one day I feel like a completely different, I can't plan. Packing is hard.
Yeah, packing is easy for me. I do other people preps, like I'll prep them for the week, or I'll prep them for a tour, I'll prep them for those things. I usually go, what if I only have 32 items in my wardrobe too, by the way, for all 4 seasons. So like not that much. Usually when I'm up in the morning and I'm like meditating or I'm journaling or I'm in the shower, I go, okay, what's the weather like? I'm starting to think. And I can tell you, if you held a gun to my head, I can tell you everything in my wardrobe right now. So like I could list it off and I have a photographic memory and go, blah, 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 here it all is. I go, what have I not worn? I wanted to wear the vest today. Okay, what do I have to do? Is these things situationally appropriate? Great. So I will sit in my pajamas until I don't have to anymore. I'll do my makeup in my pajamas. I'll do all the things. I showered. I put a new pair on of pajamas, sat on the computer with my eye patches, and I was like, okay, great, 10 minutes, I'm ready to go. And everybody can get there if they do the work.
And the work is,
I mean, if they've been with me if they've been a client of mine for at least 6 months, they can do it. And it's really cool. I had a woman today, I'm not going to give her name out. She was a hoarder, like a true hoarder. And usually I go, oh, God, like you need a therapist. She had a therapist, she had a team, she had a coach. She's working on herself there. I sat with her for 5 years and cleaned out every single item of clothing.
oh,
Today, she sent me a picture and said it took me 5 minutes to get dressed. That's the work. It's the rolling up your sleeves, realizing what's not serving you, correcting it, and then showing up for yourself. We meet once a week, so showing up for yourself.
I think it goes back to that getting curious part too, because when you and I started working together, I was like, I'm going to skip over the closet organization piece. I just want like a couple cute outfits for this photo shoot I'm doing or this podcast I'm going to do or whatever.
No, I'm going to skip over the crunches and like the actually going to the gym. I just want abs.
Right. And then you had posted something online about how you get ready in 10 minutes and you always look like fabulous and put together. And I think I DM'd you like, 10 minutes, like, come on, you know?
So
and you were like,
I posted a TikTok about women that let themselves go and the impact they have on the next generation. And that ruffled some feathers. And when I say let yourself go, I always mean that you had yourself and you let her go. Mm-hmm. You knew who you were on the inside and you went, no, thank you. I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm dealing with the repercussions of women whose moms did let themselves go. So I'm talking about that. And someone was like, some of us don't have all day long to sit around and do our makeup and our hair. So I started answering those messages while doing my hair and makeup on camera in 5 minutes. I started picking out my outfits in 5 minutes and being like, no, you can actually do it if you do the work up front. I call it being high maintenance up front to be low maintenance later.
It's so true. And it's so worth it. And again, it goes back to like, you're worth the investment.
We're totally worth the investment.
Yeah. So Payton, I think you covered everything that I'm going to ask. And I'm so grateful that you were a part of the retreat that I did. And I'm so grateful that now every amazing person that's listening to this podcast gets to hear this beautiful level of confidence and inspiration that comes out of you. And if you're watching, you get to see that it's visually represented in the way you present yourself. So thank you so much. And tell us where we can find you, because I know there's a couple avenues.
ThePaytonProject.com, Payton. And then I'm also on TikTok and Instagram as The Payton Project.
And how often are you doing lives? Because I see you on there quite a bit.
2 to 3 times a week. So I've got 39 musicians that I'm responsible for in real life. I have my virtual clients, so I had several this morning, and then I've got a real fitting tonight. I usually go live 2 to 3 hours a night just to hang out, just to help people. If I have the mental capacity to do it, I'll go live and I'll answer questions. I do it for free. I have a Patreon group that's called the Style Squad, where it's basically a big group chat of a bunch of people on their style journey that I check in with a couple times a day. And then we also do group Zooms, watch the Met Gala together, clean out our closets, or it's just super fun. So yeah, the Payton Project everywhere.
Well, Payton, I am so grateful for all that you've done to help me. And I wanted to tell you because I was going to get into you before this photo shoot and you're busy. And I wanted to tell you, I ordered stuff, a few things, and then I'm wearing everything I already have.
Good.
And I decided I'm not going to be performative for this photo shoot. I'm just going to be who I am. So if I want to wear a black t-shirt and some really cute jeans, which I was really excited to show you a couple of the pair of jeans that I ordered, that's what I'm going to do. So it doesn't feel
every single promo photo of me that's out there, I still own those pieces and I wear them. So welcome to the club, sister.
I love it. So thank you for that. So, okay, Payton, I am so grateful for you. Thank you for sharing your story and the work that you do. And if you are interested in getting to know Payton, I think that a really great way is to jump on your lives on TikTok, because you are just so open to answering questions and so lovely. And I like to just go on there and hang out sometimes.
I love the hangout. There was actually someone in our community that would just hang out in the lives all the time, and she'd pop in and ask a couple questions, but we really got to know her over there. And back in September, I was like, oh, hey, Kendra's here. What are you doing? She was like, oh, I'm in labor.
No.
She was in active labor hanging out in one of the lives. She was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for this baby to come, nothing else.
Oh, I know. I just the fact that we have this accessible to us. I know there's a lot of things about technology, but the connection part, when we're really connecting and not disconnecting, is beautiful. And I like to just go out there and I just go, if you're thinking about working with her, do it, because she's amazing. And I'm telling you, the cost, I still can't understand, first of all, how you remember everything, Payton. It's insane. And then two, how do you clone yourself 10 times? I don't know how you do all the stuff you do.
No.
It's amazing. So go check her out on TikTok at the very least. But I think, Payton, that your work is so inspiring and you truly help women and people. And I think you help them see themselves through clarity instead of criticism. And that is emotional healing in its own right there. Yeah. So thank you for meeting the people that you work with where they are. Thank you for meeting me where I am. Thank you for meeting all the listeners. And like I said, you're just a gift to my life. So everybody who's listening, if this conversation resonated with you, maybe it's time to let your outer world catch up with your inner growth. Not from a place of pressure or perfectionism, but from a place of self-respect, expression, and truth, which is a high vibrational energy. So thank you for showing up to this podcast. And if it resonated with you, please send it to anybody that you think it might also resonate with. And Payton, I'd love to have you back maybe sometime. I know I say that a lot. I told Aaron, I was like, dude, you need to come on all the time. But I would just love to have you on again. If anytime have questions or whatever. And I love that our worlds collide professionally too. So I know you got to get off to your busy life of helping style people. So thank you so much.
Go see a man about some pants.
You do.
And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for having me, Robin.
Thank you. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for being here and for doing this work. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Come connect with me over on TikTok at Robin Breckenridge or Instagram at Coach with Robin, where I share even more insights, tools, and conversations around boundaries, self-trust, relational healing, and so much more. And just a quick reminder, this podcast is for educational and personal growth purposes only. The insights and tools I share are based on my experience as a life and relationship coach and are meant for general guidance. Each person's story is unique, and the nuances of individual experiences can't always be addressed in this format. What's shared here may not be applicable to every situation, especially those involving abuse, oppression, severe mental illness, or systematic harm. If you or someone you know is in crisis, please seek support from a qualified mental health professional or emergency resources. Thank you for listening and for showing up for yourself in this way. Take care, and I'll see you next time.